On May 21st, 2016, some strange weather events occurred around my town. 3 p.m., huge hailstorm hit, and rain, cloudbursts, thunder, lightning, and even a funnel cloud. This might not seem strange in the Midwest, but here in eastern Washington, it's very strange. I asked my dad if he'd ever seen anything like it, and he said, I've never seen anything like it around here or anyplace else. And over the course of about 20 minutes, it flooded our garage, it flooded our street, it flooded our canal, and it knocked out the electricity for about 4 hours. So we were sitting in the dark until the electricity eventually came on around 7:30. And about 2 hours later, I was just about ready to take a shower and go to bed when I heard this car engine roaring down the street, and then I heard skidding and a crunch, and then the car speeding away, and I looked out the window and I saw the neighbors running outside and looking around, and I was thinking maybe it hit one of the cars along the street, and I decided to go ahead and go in and take my shower, and after I got out I decided maybe I better go outside and see what happened. It was pretty dark and I couldn't see anything. Everything looked fine. So I went back to bed and never thought about it again. The next morning, I woke up and I had a bad pain in my back and my hips, which I've never had before. Well, I've had pain before, but nothing like this. And I was also sick to my stomach, so I just stayed inside and I had very little to eat. I was fasting that day. I did take communion because I was feeling sick, and I believe everybody should take communion when they're sick and remember that by Jesus' stripes we are healed. Anyway, I went through the day kind of feeling nauseous, and I never did very much that day. That night I took a couple ibuprofen and went back to sleep. And the next morning, my sister came over, and she said, "Did you know somebody drove through your lawn last night?" And I said, "No." And I went outside and looked, and sure enough, there were tracks marks going through our lawn, and they were about 18 feet away from our house. So I looked, and there were skid marks between the truck in our driveway and our mailbox, through our lawn, and then out back into the street. So I looked on the bumper on the truck and gray paint on the truck bumper. But other than that, I didn't see any damage. But I guess the neighbor said the girl down the street had been driving drunk and was charged with hit and run. The police never even came to our house, but it made me think that I like to walk around my house every once in a while and pray in tongues and pray the 23rd Psalm and confess the 91st Psalm and pray for protection. I also walk around my neighborhood for protection. I was thinking, man, that time of night, if it wasn't for that storm cloud and that flooding, there probably would have been kids out playing in the streets. And I was also thinking, when you drink for drunkenness' sake and take drugs to get high, you're kind of opening yourselves up to demonic possession. I've myself drank until I blacked out and kept on going, so I know it wasn't me doing the things I was doing when I was basically blacked out. And I've seen people that have been so drunk and so high that they've acted out of the normal, or they have another personality, let's say. I believe it's demonic powers basically moving in. When you drink and take drugs to where you can't remember anything and you're exhibiting a different personality, well, I think that there is a different personality. It's not your personality. It's a demonic personality taking over. I would encourage people to pray, walk around their house and their homes and their neighborhoods and pray in tongues. And if you haven't been baptized in the Holy Spirit, maybe you should walk around your home and your neighborhood and confess the 23rd Psalm or the 91st Psalm, or just pray for protection, because I truly believe there was a demonic force aiming that girl towards our house where my dad was sleeping, because our bedrooms are on that side of the house. And fortunately, she hit the bumper of our truck and was steered back onto the roadway. Otherwise, she would have plowed right into our bedrooms and perhaps killed my father. And I actually believe there's angels guarding our homes. Jesus said the children's angels are beholding the face of our Father in heaven. And if you remember the story of Elisha, when he asked the eyes of his servants be opened, and he saw a vast army of angelic hosts around them, and he told his servant, they that be with us are more that be with them. So again, I encourage you to pray in tongues, pray for protection, pray the 23rd Psalm, pray the 91st Psalm. I truly believe that God and his angels were protecting us that night.